Hello there, YouTube. It's your boy B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. Today we're looking at She-Hulk Volume 1 Deconstructed. This is the 2016 run of She-Hulk. That wasn't actually a run of She-Hulk. Yeah, this book was actually just called Hulk. And if you are a member of the comics community, you might remember all of the toxic comic bros that were like, how dare they name a Jennifer Walters She-Hulk book Hulk? How dare they? Bruce Banner is the Hulk. You can't have her as Hulk. She's She-Hulk. Well, actually, the Bruce Banner book, it's called The Incredible Hulk. It's had name changes, sure, like the Immortal Hulk. But, yeah, no, the main Bruce Banner title is called Incredible Hulk. And actually, my favorite and probably the best run just titled Hulk actually starred Red Hulk, who I believe was dead at the time of this story. That might not be entirely true, but even if it isn't, the title just called Hulk kind of has a precedent for being a non-Bruce Banner Hulk. So, congratulations on being an absolute just loser. Anyway, now that I've alienated most of my listeners, because this isn't really the kind of video you watch, it's almost more of a podcast that you listen to. But the reason it's called Hulk and not She-Hulk is because Jennifer Walters has gone through some big changes. She's not the same person, and she's not the same Hulk. She has developed a new Hulk personality, like Bruce. Because of her trauma, a new Hulk has been spawned. A gray Hulk. This Hulk really isn't She-Hulk, because She-Hulk is green. This is a new Hulk. The title makes sense. But then Marvel chickened out and called the trades She-Hulk, which is admittedly maybe a little less confusing for people, though. I'll give you that. But yeah, let me read you the back of the book, eh? Jennifer Walters survived the Second Civil War. Barely. But having risen from the rubble, she re-enters the world a very different kind of hero. Fueled by a quiet rage, Jen is determined to move forward with her life. But the pain of the past and all that she lost is always there. An undercurrent, a pulse, waiting to quicken and trigger her transformation into the one thing over which she has no control. As Jen returns to practicing law, her newest client struggles with her own dark secrets. What happens when a fear is so strong it becomes a destructive force in its own right? Jen is about to find out, and a string of murders may leave her in over her head as a mere lawyer. Must she give in to her anger and become the Hulk? Collecting Hulk 2016 1-6 by Mariko Tamaki, Nico Leon, Dalibor Talajek, Matt Milla, and Andrew Crossley, rated T for teen. Sorry if I butchered anyone's name. Anyway, I quite liked this book. It actually takes her a while to Hulk out in this book, but it's so interesting and paced very well, so you kind of don't mind that it takes her really until the end of the book to actually really Hulk out. But that's when you're reading the trade. I can see how this might have been much more boring as single issues. I think this flows really well as a trade, but having to wait a month between these issues and she's not hulking out much at all, I can see that getting on people's nerves. Luckily, I did read this as a trade, She-Hulk Volume 1 Deconstructed. Anyway, let's move into it, eh? So, Jen Walters, she normally stays in her Hulk form all the time. Her Hulk is kind of her ideal version of herself. Gorgeous, capable, intelligent, etc. So she stays in her Hulk form. But now, because of this trauma, when she hulks out, she doesn't go green. She goes gray. She has a gray Hulk, which is much more akin to Savage Hulk. Not as childlike as Savage Hulk. Like, she's more articulate than Savage Hulk, but she's less. I don't know really how to describe it. She's more punctual. Why say more word when less word do trick, kind of thing, you know? And I have reviewed Civil War 2, if you want to check out that review. But Thanos, at the beginning of that, puts her in a coma and I believe kills War Machine, which is kind of what sets Carol down the path to being hated by comic fans. But yeah, she's been very traumatized by this, but also, since she's been in a coma, she wakes up to find out about the Civil War. And not just to find out about the Civil War, but to find out that Bruce Banner is dead, killed by one of her friends, and that it was kind of like an assisted suicide, which is insane. So she's really torn up about that. So now she's kind of just staying in her human form, and people are like surprised to see her in human form, but it's also nice in a way because people on the street don't recognize her really. But her client comes in, and I thought this client was like a mutant or inhuman or something maybe, but I don't think she is. I think she's just a normal person, but she has these weird, like, completely black eyes. And I think she goes to Jin, and Jin takes her case because Jin thinks that this woman is a mutant or whatever. She's very pale and stuff. She almost looks kind of amphibian-esque, but she's not. There's this entity in her apartment, and everyone in the apartment has those black eyes and is really pale and stuff. This entity, I believe, causes this look in them. But yeah, you can tell exactly who Jin's clients are, because they all are very clearly superhuman. Like, there's an invisible woman, and there's like someone who kind of looks like a Pikmin, etc. She also has an assistant who's really excellent at his job, like above and beyond, but there's this really clunky dialogue about to tell the writers how gay he is. And it's actually kind of troubling because the author for this book is queer, so there is queer representation throughout this run. And I'm saying all this criticism as a queer person myself, by the way. But the way that he delivers the exposition revealing he's gay is so lazy. And even if it was exposition for something else, I would be like, come on, you couldn't have found a more clever or subtle way to do this. It's lazy. It feels like it was written by a straight. Like, come on, the clunkiest dialogue ever. There's also this woman who, like, studies grief and stuff, who's trying to get Jin Walters to basically get therapy. But Jin can't let herself Hulk out. She can't, because she turns into the Grey Hulk and is not in control. But we also see that there's this entity living with her new client. And her new client is getting evicted wrongfully. Her client is in the right. She's being wrongfully evicted in an illegal manner. But this entity in the apartment is made up of the fear of everyone who lives there. Everyone who lives in this complex is a shut-in with a lot of trauma. This woman specifically has trauma because her business partner tried to kill her because he wanted to sell the business. He failed. He was caught. There was justice there, but her trauma didn't go away. She's scared to go outside. She used to be like a big member in the community. Did charity work. She ran like a yoga studio. She was very outgoing. Everybody loved her, but now she's a shut-in because she can't handle the trauma. And this fear entity is really taking these people for a ride and whatnot. It's not like it acts like it has their best interests in heart, but it wants to kind of keep them afraid. Like, it'll never fully liberate them, because their fear literally keeps it alive. It's not like some alien or demon that feeds off fear. The fear of the people in this building is just so strong that it created this entity. It was born, literally born from their fear. So it kills the landlord to protect these people. It kills the cops investigating the landlord's death. And it's kind of starting to get out of control. But we also see Hellcat come to try to talk to Jin, because Jin is messed up right now. If she even hears someone mention Bruce, she basically has a panic attack and almost hulks out. There's a lot going on with her, unfortunately. But it makes for a very interesting character arc. Also, the cover arts for this volume, for the single issues, not a big fan of them. They seem kind of basic, to be completely honest. I like really kind of out there, interesting cover arts a lot of the time. And I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying, like, these single issues, when you saw them on the shelf with, like, all the other comics that came out that week, or that month, or that week, I don't feel like they would stand out at all. You know what I mean? I just really don't. Anyway, it seems like Jin has had some hallucinations of Bruce. She's cornered on the roof. The fear entity tries to kill her, and she hulks out. And I have to tell you, this Grey Hulk form is really cool. So normally She-Hulk just wears clothes that fit her Hulk persona, or maybe she'll have, like, something that can grow with her, like, you know, unstable molecules or whatever. But not this Grey Hulk, because she's trying to suppress this Hulk. She's not prepared for it to come out, physically or mentally, or emotionally, or in any way, really. But this Grey Jen Walters is so cool. I have to get the Marvel Legend. Like, I have to have the Marvel Legend to review, because, oh my god, she's, like, tearing at the seams. Like, her skin tears, and so you see, like, these glowing green cuts on her body, and all these torn clothes, and she is so cool. And a lot of the way she's drawn, where it's like her face is kind of silhouetted, but you can see her eyes glowing green and her scars glowing. This might actually be, in fact, I'm gonna say it is my favorite She-Hulk design, and it's not even Green She-Hulk. This is a really, really cool looking She-Hulk form. So she moves into being a little less afraid of this Hulk, but she's still pretty afraid of this Hulk. There are some neat variant covers in the variant cover gallery in the back. And I do like the number 2 variant by Elizabeth Torque, which is the cover art for this book. It's the one you're looking at now. It's cool, and there are some other cool variants, but, I mean, there's not much else in the back. But yeah, that is it for She-Hulk Volume 1 Deconstructed from the 2016 to 2018 Hulk run. Thank you all very much for your support. I will be reviewing this entire run. It's only 3 volumes, but it tells a good story, and I did enjoy it. Volume 2 is next. It's my least favorite of the 3. There's actually a lot in it that kind of bugs me, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. The next video will probably be an action figure review. It all depends. I try to upload stuff in the order that I film it, which doesn't always happen. So we'll see. Next up should actually be a Marvel figure review. But that is it. Thank you all once again. See you all next time. Bye for now.